Does sacking your manager actually stop you getting relegated? We've been through the last 10 seasons in the Premier League and looked at every single managerial sacking at the bottom of the table. First off, your starting position makes an absolutely massive difference. If we go and sort the graph by where teams were in the league when they made the sacking, of the 19 sides that were already outside of the relegation zone, only 3 of them ended up getting relegated. But then, on the other side of the coin, the 31 times a team already in the relegation zone sacked their manager, 20 of them still got relegated, and that is basically 2/3 of them. So that then begs the question, what can make the difference for you? What do the 11 teams that clawed their way out of the relegation zone have that the 20 teams that stayed in it didn't? And you can see the answer to that really clearly on the graph, because if we look at the teams that did get out of the relegation zone after sacking their manager, the one thing they've all got in common is here, the amount of games they had remaining in the season. Every single one of those teams still had at least half of the season to play with. And yes, obviously having time remaining does not guarantee you anything, but if you go and look at all the teams that couldn't get out of the relegation zone, look how frequently there are 19 games or less remaining. In fact, if you are in the relegation zone at roughly the halfway point or later, only Sean Dyche at Everton, one time in the last 10 years, has changing your manager actually saved you. But what if, right, you've crossed that threshold of the halfway point of the season and you're already out of the relegation zone? What does that do? Well, if you then elect to sack your manager, it's only been that Marsh, Garcia, Allardyce disaster at Leeds that then managed to slip into the relegation zone and get relegated. So then, the question is, what does any of this actually tell us? Which parts of this can you repeat in the pub when you're with your friends who are normal? Well, first off, sacking your manager is not really a risk. Teams that are already out of the relegation zone almost never shoot themselves in the foot by making a change, no matter how long is left in the season. But, more importantly, I would say if you are already in the bottom 3, your chances of it saving your season are pretty good. I know we said 2/3 of them still go down, but making a change has saved 11 teams over the last 10 seasons, which averages out as it happens every single year.